This is the Rob Dibble Show.
Back on the Rob Dibble Show, Ben Dardanelle on your afternoon drive. Joining us in studio, Bob Joyce, the busiest man in sports today. Over the weekend, let's see, Bob Joyce, UConn Sports Network. You did hockey, football, two hockey games, football pre and post game, and women's basketball. You got the coaches show tonight. You got Gino tomorrow. You sound a little hoarse.
Well, I'm just getting over a cold, and I'm not taking any cold medicine, so I'm just kind of letting it try to work itself out. I didn't take any Mucinex this morning. It might sound like that, but,
All right, let's start with the hockey. How is the hockey? How are they playing?
They're not playing bad. They're a lot faster skating team than they were a season ago.
Nice.
But the two games were just so vastly different on the weekend. Saturday was a 1-0 game. UConn was generating a lot of offense, but they had 30 shots, so that's good for a 60-minute game. However, they weren't getting a lot of greasy goal opportunities, like rebounds here and there, and that's because Vermont's defense was clearing out in front, and they were allowing Axel Mangbo, who was making his first start of the season,
great name,
to make some. He had to make some good saves. And on the other end, Ty Muslik only saw, 7 shots in the first 2 periods. But I would say of those 7, at least 5 were really good chances. So he had to be sharp. I think his best save of the day was a floating pass, blue line to blue line, just before the first period ended. It took a funny hop, and suddenly it was a 2-on-1. And he had to make a really nice toe save on the far post to keep it scoreless. So marginal penalty on Jake Percival in overtime leads to a 4-on-3 and just a snipe of a goal from their captain, Joel Mata, to win the game in overtime. And then yesterday, Vermont came out flying, got off to a 2-0 start, 2.5 minutes in. UConn scored 3 in the first, including a power play goal. Hope you're sitting down for that because they hadn't scored a power play goal in 22 chances to take a 3-2 lead, and then it was back and forth. Vermont scored on a screwy goal on a scramble in front with 0.3 of a second to go as part of a 5-minute major on Big Viking Gustafson Nyberg. Huskies killed it off in overtime, and until you get to the whistle, when the penalty's up, it's 4-on-4 hockey. Rush up the ice by Tristan Frazier. He and Ryan Tattle looked like they were going to crisscross. Instead, Tattle went to the net. Puck went off the defenseman's stick, beat the goalie.
Let me ask, because they didn't score at the XL Center, and then they come back and they score 6 at the Toscano.
Good point there.
Just the ice, but the arena, does that have anything to do with how they play?
I don't think so, no. Vermont played a very good game defensively. Even though they gave up 30 shots, they cleared out the front. They're bigger, and they won the puck battles along the boards on Saturday. Yesterday, not so much. Huskies were able to skate a little more freer. They won the puck battles along the boards for the most part, and it was more of a free-flowing type of game yesterday. They were just 2 completely different games yesterday.
I want to know 2 plays in particular. One, the unassisted Heaslip goal that breaks the 4-4 tie.
The shorty.
Third period. Oh, that was a shorthanded.
That was a shorty.
All right, tell me more about that. Shorthanded, unassisted. That's got to be beautiful.
Puck movement, top of the slot, turnover. Heaslip got a stick on it. He comes down the right side, and it looks like a 2-on-1 because John Spetz jumped up in the play, so the defenseman had to keep eye on Spetzy, and Heaslip made a little bit of a move thinking he was going to go glove side. He went stick side off the post and in.
Money in the
UConn
bank.
has more
Needed
shorthanded
that.
goals for than they do power play goals,
That's
too.
crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy. Okay, now our new guy, Viking Gustafson Nyberg. Yes, you already mentioned the major, but I'm digging into more. It was a kneeing and game misconduct that got him booted. Tell me more about this situation.
Yeah, it was play right at center ice by the UConn bench. He collided with Sebastian Tornquist knee to knee, and that's not allowed in college hockey. They went to the review just to confirm it because they had it as a 5 right away.
Oh, this doesn't sound like
misconduct.
It looks like when you look at the box score, you see kneeing, 5-minute major. It looks like he bent him over and just kneed him in the face.
No, it's like a collision. You stick your knee out, you make
it's
contact.
Like a trip.
That's not allowed, and it's a 5-minute major. That's how Vermont scored their goal with 0.3 of a second to go. The puck trickles towards the goal. John Spetz, the defenseman, is prone to the ice. I thought the puck was underneath him. Next thing I know, the puck's going across the crease, and Colin Hessler, the Vermont freshman leading scorer, wide open, taps it in. Ty Musick and I are going to talk about that in the coach's show tonight, but he made a couple of great saves in overtime when they still had 3.5 minutes left on the 5-minute major, preceding the game-winning goal.
Great game.
So there you go. Coach's show with Mike Cavanaugh will be over at Bears Barbecue beginning at 6. All right, let's go to the football next. The football, it was kind of a cold, windy night.
Yep.
UConn scored a lot of points, but they also gave up a lot of points. What were your thoughts on the football team?
Another grind. I mean, look, you get to this time of year, people know about you more and more by looking at more and more film. So you think every week's a grind, but I know you guys were talking about Nick Evers a little bit. I mean, 10 of 16, just 75 yards. His longest throw was 15, and he only threw 5 passes in the second half. I have no idea if the wind had anything to do with it. No clue whatsoever. But they were having success on the ground, so why not keep grounding and pounding? But they've got to get the receivers a little more involved. I will say this, Lewis Hansen caught 5 balls, career high, the tight end. He'll be on the coach's show tomorrow night along with Jaden McDonald, but they find a way to get it done again. I mean, they led 34-13, and they let it get very interesting. Came down to an onside kick. And then I give Jim Moore credit. They easily could have kicked the field goal on their last possession, but on 4th and 2, they went for it, and Cam Edwards and the Huskies got it. I mean, Edwards ran for 88. Brown ran for 138. They ran for 271, which I think is their second highest total of the season. We thought going in they could run the football against Georgia State. But give the Panthers credit. Their quarterback, Zach Gibson, was really good. The Hurst kid, the wide receiver, was really good. But I thought the UConn killed themselves, especially on that last scoring drive by Georgia State. They pin them deep. Yates gets a roughing the passer penalty. Then an offsides. Then Jordan Wright drops an interception right in front of the UConn bench. Then they get flagged for an illegal substitution. So they were kind of their own worst enemy on that last scoring drive that Georgia State scored. But again, they're finding ways to win. I mean, we've seen this so many years in the last decade where games like this and games we've seen a lot this season, they find ways to lose as opposed to finding ways to win. And now they've got 3 games to go. UAB's not going to be easy. I mean, they went in 1-6 this weekend, and they kicked the living daylights out of Tulsa. They put up 59 points on them. And John Kitma's son, apparently, is the quarterback at UAB. He had a big day. And let's see, I wrote down Cam Shanks. Remember this name. Wide receiver, caught 5 balls for 153 yards, 92 after catch. He had 139 yards worth of punt return yardage, including a 58-yarder for a touchdown. Kitna threw for 6 touchdown passes, and they're going to be home. So Huskies have got to come up with a good game plan, and I think maybe throw the football a little more. It's supposed to be nice in the 70s in Birmingham on Saturday, so just find a way to get it done. I'm looking at bowl projections. You know, UConn slated to play that first week of this, of the bowl week, so that's like the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th around there on all the projections that I've seen. So we'll see. Chance to go 8-4, 9-3. Dare we say if they win 3 straight? Syracuse just had a great come-from-behind win against Virginia Tech, but they certainly can, at worst, win 7 or 8 games, I would think.
I love the big boys on this team. I'm always been up on the big D line. I've been talking about them since day one. But the offensive line, to me, I think is the best bunch that they've really come together, minus Christian Haynes from this year. And Christian was the vocal leader, the physical leader, the end-all, be-all for that offensive line for not just last year, but for 4 years. They lost Morawski. Right. I thought the call at the end of the game was the right call to make by far.
The 4th down play you're talking about?
Yes, I've been arguing with people about this, that when that call was made, people were saying, why don't we just kick the field goal? Because you get that first down, you win. Even if you kick the field goal and you make it, you're up 10, but they can score and they can get an onside kick. You're just giving the ball back to them. Right. If you keep the ball, you win the game. Mm-hmm. But to make that call, you have to get that first down. And the execution, not only Cam, but having that front 5 block as well as they did all night long. I can't say enough. What Fortin moves over from the right guard to the left guard. Right. Was it Juergens that comes in that fills in for Juergens has done this twice now. It wasn't the original starter. Now starts in another position. still guard, but left guard, right guard's a different position. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, and Wes Ho didn't play Friday night.
Right,
He's a center.
right.
Cassidy played center.
That's who I couldn't think of. Cassidy. He did a great job. Just the offensive line filling in, and from what they've done this whole year, I think they need a tip of the cap.
Well, especially the middle three. I mean, Lunt and Valentin Sen on the edges on both sides are the veterans, but the big question going into the season was how that middle three was going to mesh, and I think Gordy Samus has done a really good job. He's always been a good offensive line coach, but now in his first year as offensive coordinator, I think he's done a better job than most people thought he would.
Just mixing and matching those offensive linemen, I think, has been great for them.
UConn women, they win 89-49. I don't want to say they get off to a slow start. 15-11 in the first quarter.
Bob wasn't happy.
Poor shooting, but they came back and they held them to 6 points in the second quarter. But your thoughts on the UConn women and really playing together for the first time this season?
Yeah, against somebody other than the practice players. I mean, look, there's always going to be nerves for the first game. No matter who you are, how long you've played, talking with Ashlyn Shade courtside after the game, that was the case. Even Chris Daly said that afterwards. Look, Paige is Paige. She's fantastic. I mean, she was efficient, 12 of 14, 27 points, 9 rebounds. Ashlyn doing a little bit more than just shooting the basketball. She did have 4 steals yesterday. I thought Caitlin Chen wasn't bad yesterday. I mean, she's not Nika Mule as far as an offensive acumen is, but she's a pretty good point guard with a scorer's mentality. She didn't take a 3 much last year. She only made 20. She made a couple in this game. I thought Sarah Strong showed some good things yesterday, both inside and out. She's got the same kind of build. It's funny, Beth Bowens actually texted me last night. Asked me for a comparison of Sarah Strong to somebody that she reminds me of, and actually Debbie Antonelli thought of this. Kalena Mosqueda-Lewis, she has the same kind of build, but she doesn't shoot the ball anywhere near.
Right.
Kalena did, but she's pretty special. I thought Jenna Al-Free had a tough time, I think, just adjusting, getting to playing for the first time in, almost 2.5 years. And I thought that was going to be a concern going into the season. There's no experience other than Ice Brady, Big East tournament experience, and even some NCAA experience. They're really young down in the low post, and I have to think that foul trouble could become an issue for those three, and it kind of reared its ugly head a little bit yesterday. But every team's different. Every game's different. We'll see how that plays out. But for the most part, first game, yeah, not too bad. I mean, they shot a lot of threes, too. They made 13, which is nice to see.
Is it Zybel or Zeeble?
It is Zabel.
Zabel.
Think of this. Think of this.
Threes. Is she going to take 10 threes every game?
Probably not. But she's not a bad shooter. But think of this. Ring Zabel.
Ring Zabel.
How much fun can the play-by-play guy have with that last name?
So,
Ring Zabel.
no AZ, and we're not going to see AZ.
Doing everything she's supposed to be doing. It's basically right now a kind of a feel thing. She didn't practice much, I guess, on Saturday at the open practice from what I heard.
Okay.
So she's kind of on a minutes thing. And KK didn't play, not quite ready, but Gino says it's not worth it until Thursday.
I'm wondering, does Paige need to be held back a little bit? Feels like, gosh, Paige, easy. We're going to beat this team. Like, you're going to have your points. I know you're going to be up for a Naismith Player of the Year. We don't need you yet. Just chill out.
No, I think she just showed what she's capable of yesterday. I mean, that's what she wants to do each and every game, according to Gino. I mean, if she plays like that, I mean, we're in good shape. The Huskies are. But, yeah, I mean, that's what is expected of her this season because of a lot of the uncertainty, at least until AZ gets back.
Right.
If Ashlyn goes out and gives you 15 a game and Chen's able to do that too, then, Paige doesn't have to do as much. But, boy, I mean, you can tell all the work that Paige has put in by just some of the things she did yesterday. She's got a pretty nice fall-away now. Yeah. I mean, Debbie and I talked about Nafisa and her fall-away. She's got that going pretty good. Attacks the rim pretty well.
She's the best three-point shooter on this team.
Right now, yes. AZ's still the big question mark. If AZ becomes, a little Miss Sniper from long distance to complement what they have, I mean, this will be the best three-point shooting team that UConn's had in a while because they'll have depth.
Bob Joyce, go rest your voice, man.
Yeah, really, take a break.
You got a show tonight.
Thank God Adam's coming tonight.
Yeah, really.
He can ask half the questions.
All right.
Let him do some of the work.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks for having me. Go Huskies and trick or treat.
All right, first dibs question today coming up next. We'll be right back.